Hi, and welcome back to our segment on the blues. In our last lesson, we were learning how to play some shell voicings and how to do some substitutions on a B-flat blues progression. And I'm going to continue today by showing you how to add some extensions to these chords to make them sound a little bit more exciting. First thing we're going to do, we're going to look at these shell voicings. It was the first one we played, B-flat 7. We played root 7th and 3rd, B-flat, A-flat, D. Well, that was on the 6th, 4th, and 3rd string. We're going to take a look over here on the 2nd string and see what we might be able to add to it. And one real obvious thing is the 13th. And we're going to probably be using that extension a lot on dominant 7th chords in this 6th-string root position. Another thing we could do is the flat 13, which is also called the sharp 5. These are all going to be on the sheet that you can download right under this video. And here's the 5th on top. And with a little juggling of the fingers, I can put the flatted 5th on top. Sometimes I want to put the 4th on top, and there's a couple ways I can do that. One is to do this, is simply to raise the 3rd and make a 3-note shell voicing of a sus4 chord, dominant 7, sus4, B-flat, A-flat, E-flat. The other one is to put the 9th in there and put the 11th, or the sus4, over here on the 2nd string. So here I have B-flat, A-flat, C, E-flat. Looks like a little A-flat chord on top of a B-flat bass note. So those are common notes that can be added to a 6th-string root dominant 7 shell voicing. For the 5th-string root voicing, we had E-flat 7. Very commonly, we would add the 9th to that by just flattening down our 3rd finger here. This is like in every James Brown song, you know. We could also take that 9th and make it a sharp 9. So here I used my 4th finger, I grabbed the F sharp, so I've got an E-flat 7th chord, E-flat, G, D-flat, and I've got an F sharp in the lead. That would be notated as E-flat 7 sharp 9. You could also go E-flat 7 flat 9. I'm going to leave it at that for now. The other chord we had in our progression, we had a C minor 7th chord, and we could play the shell voicing, of course. And very often we might want to add the 5th to that, which we can do the same way we did the 9th before. We'll just flatten our 3rd finger out across the 2nd string. And now we got a C minor 7th chord, for instance, C, B flat, E flat. And I'm flattening my 3rd finger out so I can also get the G. So there's a C minor 7th chord with the 5th on top. Sometimes you'll see C minor 7 with the flat 5 on top, or with the 11th on top, or sometimes a sharp 5. That's not totally theoretically correct, but sometimes you will see people write that. They'll write minor 7, sharp 5, so be aware of that. C minor 7 with the 5th on top, with the sharp 5 on top, even with the 13th on top sometimes. That's like an A on the 2nd string with my pinky. And we go right down the string, 13th, flat 13 or sharp 5, 5, flat 5, 11 on a C minor 7th chord. Okay? So next stop is to see how these chords are going to work out in our blues progression. So let me play a chorus here, typically the way I might play if I'm adding some notes to our 4 to the bar voicings that we learned in the last lesson. Okay, and now I'll show you what I'm doing there. B flat 13, I added the 13th to the B flat 7 chord, and then I just moved that note down towards the 9th. So now I had B flat 13, B flat 7 flat 13, and E flat 9th. And then I went back to the B flat 13, and then I did the F minor 7th, but this time I put the 9th on top, and then the B flat 7, this time again with the flat 13, so I made a chromatic line, again going towards that E flat 7 with the 9th. And this time I'm going from B flat 7 to G7, you remember. I decided to move chromatically, and I played the 13th chords for B flat, A dominant 7, and A flat 7, all of those with the 13th. And then the G7, I wanted it to be a little bit stronger, so I used the G7 with the flat 13, or the sharp 5, as we might call it. And then I went up to C minor 7, and then F7, I wanted to have a little bit more bite to this chord. So I put the sharp 9 on my F7th chord, and then the flat 9, and then B flat 13, G13 with the sharp 9, and then the flat 9. And I think I substituted a G flat too. I came down chromatically. I did the same thing on the G7 chord, the F sharp 7 chord, and the F7 chord, right back into the B flat 7. So that should give you some ideas about how you can extend the chords that you've already learned. The shell voicings are great for that because they're very simple and it's real easy to add a note. So take a look at those, study them, make sure you got the shell voicings down first, and experiment with some of these chord voicings that I just showed you. And I'll see you on the next lesson for some guide tones, and we're going to learn the melody to Tenor Madness.